There you go, now it's wrong. Look around you. How many of you have gone hungry or not known where your next meal is coming from? I want you all to commit an act of social deviance, not to be confused with social delinquency, which could get you in jail. I want you to commit an act of social deviance or commit an act of random kindness. I want you to fight to knock out hunger and food insecurity in America. According to feedingamerica.org, even in the world's greatest food-producing nation, children and adults face hunger and food insecurity in every county across America. More than 37 million people, including 11 million children, face hunger and food insecurity daily. The face of hunger. We often become tuned out to the hunger and food insecurity by white noise. It is something that we hear in the background and we tune out or ignore while preoccupied with other issues. Many of you in the audience may not have had personal experience with food insecurity or hunger. I want to call you to action to fight for people no matter their age, their race, their ethnicity, or their religion. And you're asking yourself, well, why should I help? The person you help might be a stranger, or it might be a friend, a relative, a co-worker, or even an entire family. As a nurse, father, grandfather, and college student, I have personally dealt with hunger and food insecurity both professionally and personally. I want to discuss 4 things today about food insecurity and hunger. First, I want to discuss what they mean. Secondly, the prevalence of food insecurity and hunger in America. Thirdly, who it affects. And finally, what you can do to commit an act of social deviance. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, food insecurity is defined as an insufficient supply of food and money for an active and healthy lifestyle. While hunger is defined as a physical and personal feeling of discomfort related to the lack of food. So what causes food insecurity or hunger? Poverty is one of the biggest reasons. Homelessness, losing your job. According to feedingamerica.org, 38 million people living in poverty earn less than $25,750 a year. And the middle class is not exempt either. Per the Census Bureau, the average income for the middle class was $57,652 in 2018. That's a pretty good chunk of change, and yet they're still faced with food insecurity and hunger. So since the Great Recession, jobs have come back, but the increase in pay has not kept up with the cost of food. And so you have families that are skating on that pond of life. They're skating along, and all of a sudden somebody loses their job, they get a pay cut, the car breaks down, someone has medical bills to pay, and all of a sudden they're plunged into the cold, icy waters of food insecurity and hunger. College students are also at high risk for food insecurity and hunger. According to Shannon Lee from the website Affordable College Online, a little over 11% of four-year college students were food insecure, and also about 13% of vocational students were also food insecure. And the causes of them is the price of tuition has increased, and students have to balance both college, work, and study. And many times they're unable to work enough or make enough to adequately supply themselves with food. Also in my experience, I've taken care of elderly and retired people who are on fixed incomes. And as the price of food goes up and the price of housing and regular bills go up, medicine, they're unable to supply themselves with enough money to eat adequately. And so I see many patients who are malnourished, they're bony and thin, and when the hospital orders come up, it says meets malnutrition criteria. So what can we do to help fight hunger? Well, families and children can sign up for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, which is formerly known as food stamps. And they can go to their area, they can go to their area offices, government office, to sign up for those programs. Also, there are food pantries. In central Pennsylvania, we have 4 food banks. We have one in Harrisburg, Lancaster, York, and Lebanon cities. And they provide meals and have provide food. There's also local churches. They take donations of food and money. And they also run soup kitchens and pass out food. You can also volunteer your time. Then there's the Salvation Army. They also run soup kitchens and have food pantries to hand out food for those who need it. And then during my research, I found that there was also social media sites that could provide help to college students. There's hashtag Voices for Change and hashtag Real College for students as resources to find funding and food. So, in summary, help those in need. I want to persuade you to go out and do an act of social deviance. No one in America is exempt. You could be helping a friend, a family, coworker, neighbor, or an entire family. Donate to churches, food banks, soup kitchens, the Salvation Army, and reliable social media sites. I dare you to commit an act of social deviance. Thank you.